welcome back to Realistness, ladies and gents. Thanks for chilling with us tonight. I'm your humble host, 21st Century Digital Boy, the People's Champion, stunning and brave culture critic, trusted member of the media, your good buddy in the mix, and the world's last hope for peace. We got a few things to get into today, and most of them fun, which is always a pleasant change of pace, so let's get right inside them, shall we? Now, first off, before we get into the video game shit, may I just say how incredible it is watching celebrities and so-called influencers melting down over being quarantined and shit. They're so attention-starved. Some of them are having panic attacks and freaking out. It's awesome. Did any of you guys see that video of some of them singing? Holy shit, they really are breaking the fuck down, and it is absolutely hysterical. I telecommute for my job normally, so chilling at home, smoking weed, and playing video games is just every day for me anyway, so I'm good. I hope the rest of y'all are staying safe and that the government comes through with checks for us soon to offset all the money a lot of people are losing due to not being able to fucking work. My roommate's work is actually closed till May, so we have no idea how the shit we're gonna pay rent, so I'm right there with a lot of you. Anyway, enough of that shit. No doubt you are all aware of the Resident Evil 3 demo that dropped the other day, but what you may not be aware of is that we also got a Trials of Mana demo. Not nearly as exciting for many of you, I'm sure, but for me, a longtime fan of Secret of Mana, it's pretty awesome. Trials of Mana is a complete overhaul of what is essentially Secret of Mana 2 for Super Nintendo. It was never localized over here until recently, so most fans know it simply as Seiken Densetsu 3. The Mana series actually started with a Game Boy game called Shinyaku Seiken Densetsu, Legend of the Holy Sword. You may know it in the States as Final Fantasy Adventure, or later on GBA as Sword of Mana. Now, what was brought over to the States for Super Nintendo in '93 called Secret of Mana was actually Seiken Densetsu 2 in Japan, so hence its sequel being simply titled Seiken Densetsu 3. Anyways, enough of the Mana series history lesson, here's the bad news. It looks pretty balls. If you saw any of the Secret of Mana remake for PS4 and PC last year, you'll mostly know what to expect. The same low-effort Korean anime studio factory farming artwork is all over this too. The only upside is that 1, the music hasn't been butchered by a tone-deaf nutjob suffering from some bizarre form of psychopathy, and 2, they actually rebuilt all the environments from scratch instead of just overlaying low-poly shit-fuck models over the original maps like they did in the Secret of Mana remake. However, it's still kind of mostly a pile. Though it does play well, the combat actually feels really, really good. The way everything works with super moves, charge attacks, jumping, dodging, all this kind of stuff, they really put some interesting stuff into this while still managing to maintain the feel of combat from the original. So that's actually a pretty big upside. It does feel really good when you're playing it. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I have been having fun with it. It's really, the tragedy is just the artwork. The gameplay feels great. But it's just, the artwork is, while it does have a nice little kind of charm to it, you just gotta think about how it could have looked if they really had tried and didn't just outsource all the animation and artwork to someone else. It's really kind of a shame. Still, all that being said, I really just like an excuse to play through a Mana game again, so I'll be using this one. Moving on, we also got the Resident Evil 3 demo, and that was cool. Not much else to say. It looks like the Resident Evil 2 engine with different art, maps. Nothing crazy, but certainly fun. I did like the addition of the quick dodge move, that was nice. Plus, this being out gives all the people over on the Resident Evil R34 subreddit plenty of new models to use in their artwork, so that's super fun. I don't really think there's too much more to say about this. You're certainly not gonna see any corny clickbait videos of me playing through it and pretending to have jump scares or any dumb shit like that. If you're interested in it, go watch a normal playthrough or, better yet, download it the fuck yourself. So, if you like the Resident Evil 2 remake, I'd say there's a pretty damn good chance that you're gonna fuck with this too. If, on the other hand, you thought it was shit or a betrayal of what made the original great, then you probably won't. I had a lot of fun with the RE2 remake, so it looks like we're probably gonna be playing a lot of this one over at Degreelessness as well. Though it should be said that my favorite Resident Evil games have always been 1 and 2, then Code Veronica, with 4 and 7 behind that. The rest don't really exist to me, as with the exception of 3, they aren't really Resident Evil, in my opinion. 3 occupies a strange place in my memory, though, as I only played through it like once or twice when I was much younger, and I never really liked it enough to seek out my own copy of it. I don't really remember very much of it, to be honest. And, let's be real here, I always kind of thought the Nemesis saying stars was a fucking corny gimmick.
Eye roll.
And not very scary. Sure, like in a B-movie sort of jump scare way it was scary, but wasn't like any sort of atmospheric horror. You can argue that, I suppose, but I never really fucked with it. It also always just sort of struck me as like a cheap attempt to follow up on the hype after Resident Evil 2 as quickly as possible. You know, they're reusing a bunch of assets and that kind of shit, just like they're doing here with the remake. Interesting. I'm hoping the remake does a good job fleshing it out more and kind of making it a proper full-length entry in the series. If it were any other developer, I probably would have written off this remake long ago, as we all know how much we can trust a modern-day AAA developer to deliver a quality product or even anything resembling a real game, which is to say not at fucking all. But in my humble opinion, though I can certainly understand why some people do not fuck with it, I do think Capcom did an awesome job with the RE2 remake, and this demo seems just as good, so fuck it. Let's do something objectively insane in this day and age and hope for the best. Okay, that's our show for today. Thanks for chilling with us tonight. We love you today. We love you all the way. Please stay tuned for our Doom Eternal review coming up next.